So hi everybody and welcome to the recording of our IDGs and nature session. I'm Kamil and with me is Katharina, and the purpose of this session is to share our experiences with working with the IDGs in nature, and also to make it easier for you to try this out or to deepen your practice that you have already with IDGs and nature. And maybe some words of humility. The experiences are very specific for us and our context. We both live in Germany, close to Cologne, and most of our IDG walks we did here. So this doesn't mean that this is something that works as well for you and your context in your country with the people. But maybe it's an inspiration and you can take what you need and leave out what you don't need.
Yeah, so Camille will explain in a moment how the idea to this online session came up. But maybe before, I'd love to share a little bit about our story, how we started the IDG Walks and the audio experiences in the first place. And yeah, we were actually connected by a dear friend. So thank you to Stefan in the beginning of 2023. And there we kind of immediately realized that we shared a lot of interest and also the passion for inner-led systems change towards a more flourishing world for all. And I'm part of the Inner Green Deal, which is a nonprofit organization offering science-based transformational programs to the EU and the UN, to NGOs and change makers. And we have been a close partner to the IDG initiative right from the beginning, doing together the IDG Global Leadership Program, for example, but working mostly online, including recorded nature walks, and there were some walks already in Brussels. But I really had a strong longing for more nature immersion in my whole facilitation and coaching. And then that's where I met Kamil at the perfect moment with all his huge experience with outdoor formats, and let him introduce himself.
Thank you, Katharina. Yeah, and for me, so I'm the co-founder of Walkabout You, and at Walkabout You, we want to make working and learning outdoors as normal as in online sessions or in meeting rooms. And one part or one topic that was always very alive for me was the topic of sustainability. And at that time when we met, I was already part of the IDG Hub Cologne, but still never had a walk or a session or anything here in our area connected directly to the IDGs or to sustainability. And I was searching for an expert or somebody that's really deep into this topic. And I was so happy that I found Katharina and that she always also liked the idea of going out in nature and trying this. And yeah, and this how we started to create our first prototype and do the work and gather experiences, and luckily it evolved until today and until this session that we are doing now together.
Yeah, and it really started as little experiments back in May 2023. And now we have done 7 public IDG walks in Cologne and other formats by us, but also many other people. And maybe the big why of the walks is really that we see a hugely positive effect that nature and inner development have on sustainability. And that's why we wanted to create space for more people to experience that in our region, and also to connect it more to the IDG movement. And now Kamil for some words about this online session and how it came to place.
Yes. And this online session has also directly something to do with the walks that we are creating, the IDG walks, because this post that you maybe know from the IDG group at LinkedIn was originally created in German as inspiration and invitation for our last IDG walk that we had on 30th of April. And Katharina will tell you more about this walk soon. So the idea was to actually, bring in science into the whole IDG and nature topic, And we don't know why this attracted so many people, because we are not the first ones that are working with nature and IDGs, and there were already many postings about that. But maybe it was this visual, it was also the science part, that there are studies that are confirming all the benefits. And yeah, and you all reacted, and I proposed here in this post that we will send you information. So now we have to do it, and we do it in the form that both of us love the most, and we think is also the best to stay connected and to evolve this topic by inviting you and talking about it, and also make it and make it an interaction and not just sending you some papers and some Excel sheets over. And when we go into the topic of research, there is a huge world around that. And the studies that you see in this picture are only a few that you can connect somehow to the IDGs. And we at Walkabout You started to look at the research scape regarding nature and walking and movement and how it affects people maybe 4 years ago. And throughout the time, we collected more and more research that you will also see on our website, which we sent you also in the email. You will have the link there. And I just intuitively sorted them into the IDG framework, to the 5 categories. So there's not like a big research work involved there. But as you see, and if you look at it, everything is, of course, connected, but still you can say some research findings and some benefits are more connected to this category or that category. And if you want to go deeper into this research topic, we have also in our team Astrid Seidel. You can contact her or contact us, and she's a person that really knows how research works, and she's also interested to explore this whole world together with you, with us.
There's also interesting research from our research partner from the Green Deal, Professor Christine Wormsler from the Lund University in Sweden. She's connecting nature, inner development goals, and mindfulness and sustainability and their effect on sustainability.
And if you look at all the science space and everything around it, this quote captures actually why nature and Nature Connect is so important in the context of IDGs. So if you're not connected to nature, we don't care about it, and we have to experience it to care about something. That's with everything the same, and of course with nature. Yes.
Yes, and we wanted to share a little bit how we're doing it. And as Camille was saying, you know, this is just one version of doing it, and it's also evolving. We're learning constantly. You might have different approaches, and we're also very happy to learn from you. But there are some guiding principles for us. And the first thing is really, we are nature. We see the story of separation as a root cause of our multiple crises, which is the separation from ourselves and from others and from nature. And that is why we really want to create spaces for reconnection. And then connect before act really follows that idea, where we want to build a strong sense of community as a first thing. And that then can serve as a solid foundation and a compass for a more impactful action. And make reality normality. As Jane Goodall said, you cannot get through a single day without having impact on the world around you. And what you do makes a difference. You decide what kind of difference you want to make. And this is guiding us as well in our work. And when we design IDG Walks, the first question always is, what are the qualities that we want to create space for? And creating space in itself is already the most powerful intervention, we feel. And after the first walks, we decided to let ourselves be inspired by the natural seasons. So we do a spring walk and summer, fall, and winter, because we do have these seasons here. We also follow our own intuition, what we want to do, and our interest. then we always send a little survey to the participants so that we can, also gather their wishes for qualities they want to practice. And another important thing is also the place. So the natural places for the walk, they also inspire the qualities that we choose. So in the beginning, like always, we have been in a city forest in Cologne. And then last week, we tried the Rhine River banks for the first time. And then water, for example, inspired our design, which was quite interesting as well. And then next, we choose the interventions and the methods to invite these qualities that we've chosen. And we are drawing from really different backgrounds and experience that we have, or also very often just explore new things. And I don't go into detail here because you might have so many different backgrounds as well. Just bring in whatever you're interested in. And we feel that nature is the best inspiration, or a children perspective as well, to design these kind of flows. And a lot of playfulness, so just trying out. And then, we create flow and formulate an invitation to people. And I show you that. You will also receive an example of our flow, which happened last week. So this is how we structure it. And we had walks of 4 hours or 3 hours, up to 5 hours. But we decided we will not walk you through an Excel file. This might be a bit boring, even if we are German. But maybe I'd rather take you on a little journey how we do it. So we always started with a little prep email that we send to people to really make them feel invited and fully prepared with the intention, the flow, practicalities, where are the toilets, very important question, how to get to the place, what to bring, and then also the principle of paying forward, which Camille will explain a bit later. And then what is a tiny thing, but very important, we feel, is a landing as facilitators as well. So landing and connecting with ourselves and with nature, because as Bill O'Brien said, the success of an intervention depends on the interior condition of the intervener. And it's really about being fully present there ourselves as facilitators as well. And then we usually choose a meeting place with easy access where people can get to, with public transport as well. And we start with a short welcome, giving the intention of the walk, some orientation, and only the most important practicalities, because we really want to get people moving as quickly as possible. So it's just, again, the toilets usually, that we're doing a break and some agreements. We always invite people not to use their phone so that they can be fully present as well. And then we started with a warm-up walk. So what we did is, we choose a very light question, like what are the qualities, for example, that you associate with spring? Or when did you last experience joy in nature? And then we invite people to choose someone they have never met before or not talked to yet. And we're always amazed how quickly relationships build already in the first minutes. And then that's how we structured. From the starting point, we moved to a more quiet and protected meeting or starting place. In the forest, there was a circle in the forest kindergarten, or here at the riverbank, where are some bushes, and then do a short sharing about the walk, and then also give some invitations, like really to be fully present, and also take care of yourself and nature. And it's okay if you don't want to participate in all exercises. And also what is shared stays in this group is another important invitation to create psychological safety for the group. And then we gave, for a landing, we gave just a bit of time, like 10 minutes for people on their own to arrive. And it was just, experience that connection to the river. And then, as you can see, some walked in the river, some were just sitting or walking around. And that's one option. And very often also we do a little landing in a circle around the wheel of awareness, for example, from Dan Siegel or others. And then from that, have a check-in. And as we have had a big group last time, we split it in two and let people share about where are you in the flow of life. And it was really wonderful to hear deeply touching stories of people. And they inspired then again the sharing of others. And it was really like it flowed together in a way. And then the next block that we always have is a short intro to the IDGs, but we love to do that co-creatively because we have newbies to IDGs, but also like very experienced people. So we see what comes from the group, then let people exchange in dual walks, choosing another person to talk to. For example, this time, what are the qualities that are already blossoming, and what are the little seeds that you want to plant that might want some more space? And we do have a break where we invite people to bring something that they share then, and that's where we move to the park. And after the break, had a little symbiosis meditation. But we realized that in the public park, close to the river, you really need to find a spot where it's a bit more calm and people can fully concentrate. So that is also a learning that maybe better spot such a place before. But in this meditation, we invited to feel the sense, the interconnectedness of our life, and how the river, for example, the water of the river is linked to the liquid in our cells and vessels, and to the clouds in the air or the moisture in the grass, practicing IDG skills. And after that, invited people again for a solo exploration for 10 minutes. So we had that meeting place, and from there, they could move around, but from the perspective of a non-human being, of their choice. So whatever came first to their minds, a tree, their dog, a microbe, or water. And it was really a fun experience as well, because people sat and others climbed and were laid down or walked like a cat. And then after that individual experience, we invited our sharing in trios in a walk, connecting us from that other perspective, which also was super interesting as people shared afterwards when we came back together, that it really helped open up new perspectives, and it was very connecting. And then we, as a final ceremony, we invited people to let themselves be found, not searching, but by an item that represents the next steps or seeds that they wanted to sow, or a step that they wanted to take, or what is most present. And then one by one, when they came together, put that item in a circle with a few words, what it stands for. And then in silence and intuitively let people create a collective image out of that. And it was really a magical experience, very inspirational to see what revealed and how that felt for people, and how also these different items then connected from their sense. And we used that then also as a checkout round before we just, in the end, gave some practical orientation. And this is roughly also the structure that we're generally using. And what we're doing then is like the deepening exercises, for example, the symbiosis meditation and the perspective change, that then depending on the qualities that we choose, we replace by different exercises and also exchange the different questions. And just quickly, some other favorites. What we do, when we give, for example, 10 minutes to people, we just let them explore and not look at their mobile phones, but we call them back. And we have a little sign that we call cuckoo, cuckoo, and invite people to repeat that so that even ones who are further away can hear it and they know it's a sign to come back. And trains courage, one of the IDG qualities as well. And many other things, and we can come back to that later if you're interested more in the methods. Also, that is something we will send, so different variations of IDGs in nature, what we're doing also for families, what open walks and online. And there are some interesting practicalities as well. I'm handing over to Camille for that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Katharina. Yeah, maybe some organization and everything that is also involved in such walks, because many people are experienced facilitators, also experience with working with the IDGs. But then you have the questions, okay, how do I invite people? How does it work with funding and everything else that's also important to bring people on board? And the first thing is different channels. So what do we use for marketing and invitations? And for us, it's mainly that we create an event landing page right now through Ticket Tailor. You will get the example also in the link, so you can have a look on that. And then we use our local IDG hub. So we're posting there in the channels and try to invite people. And this is a strong channel of ours. And then we work a lot with LinkedIn. So basically, because LinkedIn is the main channel from Walkabout You and also from In a Green Deal, we have our newsletters from the companies and also from us as facilitators. And we invite people personally that we know and we think they might be interested in that, and ask also for recommendations when people are happy with the last walk, that they tell about it to others. Yeah. And one very interesting part is funding. So basically we're doing the walks voluntarily without any basic funding there, but we from the beginning on we started to experiment with a concept called pay it forward. Or you can also call it pay what you want and pay what you feel. But we really said it's about pay it forward, and pay it forward means that the first walk that we started, Katharina and I and our teams supported. So we gave it as a gift to the first group. And then the group at the end, they can decide how much money they give to support the next group to have the walk without looking at their financial resources. So on the one hand, this makes it accessible for people that don't have so much money. On the other hand, it's like, it fosters also long-term thinking. It's does something with the people that they can support others to have the same experience. So also in this payment model, we have embedded the IDGs and experimenting there especially. And I think this is something that for the whole IDG community is interesting to look how we behave with money and what part money has and all the things that we create. And here we have always a very good feeling to do that. And people also are generous, the ones that have money. Some people also give other things. We have one person that was a video creator, and he went out with us and created a video. So it's not only about money, you can also give back other things that you can and that you're capable of. And of course, you have also indirect values. So you get new contacts to potential partners, clients, and make an impact and invite your local community and people to spread the word about the IDGs and our work that we do. And I mean, funding and paying is a whole world. So this is also maybe something for later if you want to dig deeper. And another part, which is something that comes up when you're working outdoors, safety, legal, insurance, and this is very specific regarding the region that you are. In our case, so we are in the city green areas in Cologne. Usually it's safe for people to be out there, and it's also not a problem for the nature when we walk out there because it's part cultivated, it's not wilderness. And I know that in other parts in the world it looks completely different. But for us, this was something that's perfectly fine to do, also in the evenings to be out there. Then we have a basic insurance in Germany. It's called Betriebshaftpflicht. So if something happens to somebody outdoors, that it's covered. And regarding permission of using the land, and it belongs to the city, we make the experience that it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission, because when we start to ask for permission, at least in our city, then there is nobody that officially says, yes, you can do it. But people are okay if you don't disturb others and you don't make any trouble with, super large groups or being very loud or damaging anything. So with Walkabout You, we did around 70, 80 workshops outdoors, and we never had problems with that in Germany with our formats, at least.
Find the unmute button. So yeah, we assume that you also have a wider experience. Some might be more in like nearer to nature connection and IDGs, and others are already experts because we've seen the community. A lot is happening already. If you have not tried it yet, we really encourage you to start. Best is to find someone to do co-facilitated with. That's much easier. And just take, whatever you do indoors, take it outdoors. And you will see that creativity in a way comes with co-creation and also with being outdoors. And we are also very happy to learn from those who are already working with IDGs and nature. So curious and looking forward to the exchange in a moment. And really to extend that bubble. And for the ones who'd like to connect, because we know that some have to jump out before the exchange, we'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn, or you can also have a look at Inner Green Deal and Walkabout You. And we will also send a follow-up email with all the information for connection and also the links to research that Kami talked about, and the flow as a little example. And before we move to the exchange, I hand over to Kami to guide us for a little moment. Let it sink in a little bit.
Yes, thank you.